What are you thankful for?
Your friendship.
Give me more than that. What are you thankful
Sparkle
for?
in your eye. Yeah.
What else are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for love, for my kids, for my wife, for my family, for my band, for my friends, for the people who come to see our shows, to the people who love live music, to the people who create art, to the people who do what they love to do instead of doing it for the money, for people who care about others and show compassion and love and don't hate on people for any reason, because they know that hate and intolerance never solves anything. So I'm grateful for those people out there in the world. I like to call them the sunny day soldiers. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm thankful for your dreadlocks.
You better be.
Happy Thanksgiving, Kris Lager.
Happy Thanksgiving, Andy Frasco. I love you.
Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. Sorry, I thought my house cleaner was coming in. How we doing, everybody? I'm Andy Frasco. How's it going out there? I'm in Berlin, my last day of my vacation. Man, I've been out on a fucking sabbatical, baby. I've been out on a goddamn sabbatical. It's been exactly what I needed. I've been shopping for myself. I did Thanksgiving by myself this year. That was the first. And I fucking loved it. It was nice. I needed it. I mean, I'm always fucking flying out to... My family kind of bailed on me for... we're all supposed to go on a family trip. And they all kind of bailed on me last second. So I said, yeah, instead of like flying back, but I'm just going to do this solo adventure. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, I'm always flying out to see everyone. I'm always flying out to make things happen for everyone else. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not going to have this ruin my day or ruin my week. I'm just going to go out there, find myself, because, you know, you never know when you need to realize that you love yourself again. You know, it's hard to explain that without me thinking like, oh, I'm fucking depressed or whatever. I'm not really depressed. It's just when you give out a lot to everyone, sometimes you forget about yourself. And that's okay. We all do it. I mean, it's cool to be unselfish. It's sweet to be unselfish. But sometimes you got to pump the brakes and see how you're doing. So while I sit here in this hotel room in Berlin before I have to go back to my band and shit and play shows, which are fun as hell but draining, I'm here to tell you, how are you doing? Take a step, listen to your heart, listen to your brain, and like genuinely listen to it. How you doing? We don't really do that much anymore, especially with like the fucking doom scrolling on the internet and the watching the television and fucking just giving yourself to everyone all the time. So just, you got to do it. I went to Europe. You don't have to do something extravagant like go to fucking Europe or just go on a walk. Just go by yourself for a second and truly ask yourself how you're doing. Not how you make other people feel, not how maybe other people might be mad at you, not how anything besides how are you emotionally doing? Because we got to get back to basics sometimes. Sometimes I had to fly to fucking across the country or across the world to finally be alone. And it was the best thing for me. I went to Florence, Italy. I got picked up by a woman, which was fucking awesome. And then she flew to Berlin. It feels like Greece up in this bitch right now. I feel like I'm Danny Zuko in motherfucking Greece. Summer loving happens so fast. It's a blast, you know? I'm not looking for, you know, who knows what's going to happen after this, but it was just a great week, you know? It's like I have no expectations. I just went out there. I shot my ass off. I ate all this amazing food. I went to museums. Like I always wanted to go to museums. In my whole life, I was like, fuck. But every time I travel with people were like, fuck museums. Let's just go out drinking or whatever. So I just follow along. But this time I went to all these museums in Florence. I saw Jesus's dick. I did not expect it to be that little. God damn. All these Italian dudes. That is a country full of confident ass people. Everyone is just like, I had women flirting me on the street, dudes just coming up to me and saying you want to have dinner and fucking. It was just, I'm like, and then I'm looking at all the statues. Everyone's got these like little uncircumcised, or no, little. The turtleneck is circumcised, little circumcised dicks. I'm like, God damn, they're just proud to be Italian. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I looked at that myself. I'm like, I need to proud to be myself too. You're not going to be liked by everyone. I was always so worried about being liked by everyone, or like making sure I didn't fuck up or say something stupid, or just keep on doing content, or keep on that, I forgot to like myself. And it took me 10 days to finally say, you know what, you're okay, Andy. And I'm not saying that in a cocky, narcissistic way. I'm just saying, just check in on yourself. That's all. And whatever it takes, whatever you got to do to check in on yourself, you got to do it, because you're going to wake up one day. Who knows? You could wake up like I did at 35 years old, or 36. Oh, fuck, I couldn't even remember. 88, 35, yeah. Or you could be waking up at 85 and asking if you love yourself. But at least try to do it now, so you could have more years of improving that relationship with yourself, versus when you're fucking in your 70s and maybe you didn't spend time with your kids enough, or maybe you didn't fucking fall in love, or maybe you picked the wrong education, you didn't follow your dreams, whatever it was, that's going to bug you until your grave. So just all I ask is, you got to do that for yourself. I know it's hard to do that when, all this shit's going down, and how fast life goes, and maybe you have kids, maybe they're fucking just everywhere on you. Just do that for me, even if it takes 1 minute to ask yourself how you're doing, genuinely, and be honest with yourself. And it's okay if you feel sad, it's okay to feel depressed, it's okay to feel that. You just have to have that conversation with yourself. So when shit really hits the fan and you are by yourself, you know that you could conquer it, because you have faith in yourself. Okay, that was my sermon for the week. How's everyone doing? We got shows. I have Dan. I've been holding on to this interview with Dan Reeder for so long. I love this man. Part John Prine family. What else? He's hold on one second. It's my house cleaning. Can you come back in like 20 minutes? I don't even think they speak fucking English. Whatever. If they come in, we'll say what up to them. John Prine. He was on John Prine's record label. Dan Reeder is one of the funniest. Like, he got me into the John Craigs of the world. He got me in. He has a song called "What Do You Want?" I want food and pussy. He's this genuine dude who writes brilliant lyrics. He has quirky lyrics. He has heartfelt lyrics. He has beautiful songs, and he records them all in his house. And I don't think this man gets enough recognition that he deserves. So I'm out here to try to preach the word of Dan Reeder, and you're going to love this interview. He lives in Germany. He's a legend. He's just a legend, and all the true songwriter heads, every time whenever people ask, like, who's your favorite? Like, who's your favorites? I always go, the old school guys, Prine, Dan Reeder, John Craigie, even though he's not old. But and everyone stops at Dan Reeder. Yes. So fuck yeah. You're gonna love this interview with Dan. The Europe tour has been amazing. My Italy trip was amazing. Berlin was unbelievable. We went to this. I felt like it was like Secession. I was in this my buddy Stefan from Mars Bra. He took us to this this like private party, and like it's all these like discos, like boons, 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 boons. But this one felt like Secession. It was the coolest thing ever. we knock on a door. It's like under a railroad track. It felt kind of shady. Then you walk in, and then there's like just like millionaires and billionaires just fucking like doing cocaine in the fucking in this like, you know, fucking marble hallway. And they had a DJ from Sweden who's just like, she was like fucking beautiful and just like, it was just surreal. I really felt like I was in Secession. I'm out there with my fucking flannel on, and it was truly a magical moment because I got out of my element, got out of my own head, and I'm like, this isn't for me. You know, I normally just poo-poo this shit and go to the pub or whatever and go drink some Jameson. But I'm like, fuck it, I'm out here. I'm going to pull out my chain. I'm going to get out there and fucking be German for a day. And it was just a magical moment. And then Italy was the same way. And I was smoking a cigarette, and I found my realtor who sold me my house in Denver. They walked past me and they're like, Frasco, and I hung out with them for 3 days. We went to museums. We went shopping. I got some fucking Italian sunglasses. Dude, I am lit. I'm having a blast. And look at these things. This is hilarious. You'll think I'm like so Italian right now. If you're, head to volume.com and watch. Dude, I feel like a fucking movie producer in these glasses. Head to volume.com. And watch the live stream of Dan Reeder and I, and you can see my Italian glasses that I got. Hello, buongiorno, it's Andy Frasco. It was nice to be in Italy, and it was nice to be in Germany. It was just a nice trip all around, and I'm rejuvenated, and I'm ready to finish the rest of the tour. And speaking of that, rest of the tour, December. We got to start. I took 10 days off, so I've kind of been slacking on the tour schedule, but I fly. I'll be in Philly for 2 days. I'm flying there on Sunday, so 2 days from when this gets released. I'm in Philly right now. When this records, I'm going to the Eagles game. My friends got me tickets to the Eagles game, but I'm really going there because the Lakers are playing the Philadelphia 76ers. Who knows what's going to happen? Sixers look good, but I think the Lakers are on a roll, so they might take it. Shout out to John, and shout out to Jeff from Live Nation for getting me tickets. I really appreciate it. That was fucking nice of you. You're the best. So tomorrow we are playing in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Grab your tickets. Then, oh shit, we're playing Buffalo this week. God damn it. I got to drink some water, get hydrated for that shit. The 30th, we're in Buffalo, New York. December 1st, we're in Columbus, Ohio. Shit, these are all popping. We're about to get it going with this. December 2nd, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. I think Buffalo still has tickets. Yeah, all these have tickets. Ticket sales are kind of weird right now everywhere. But grab your tickets. I know it's everyone's buying tickets last week. But these are big rooms, so help a brother out. I think Buffalo's almost sold out or halfway full. I can't remember. I haven't looked at tickets. I just haven't really cared about. I hope that don't take that offended, but I haven't really gave a shit about business for a while, and it feels good to not care because I fucking care too much, and it's been nice. December 3rd, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. Damn, this is going to be a great tour. I forgot about all these. December 6th, I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The 7th, I'm in Austin, Texas. Tom Segura, Joe Rogan, come on out. I got to call Bert Kreischer, tell him to bring the boys out. December 8th, I'm in Dallas, Texas. December 9th, I'm in Houston, Texas. And December 10th, I'm in Baton Rouge. Damn, it's a long-ass tour. I'm staying in Nashville for a couple of days. Go see my girl, Erin Ray. Maybe go to it says Dallas versus Lakers. Mavs versus Lakers, maybe fly out. No, I'm not doing that. I'm putting that on my schedule. I'm going to be too tired. December 13th, Cincinnati, Ohio. December 14th, Indianapolis, Indiana. Oh, that'll be fun. That show's almost sold out. This is crazy. December 15th, St. Louis. We're at the pageant. It's the most tickets we ever sold in a market now. This St. Louis is just fucking crushing it. And we're almost going to sell out the goddamn pageant. Fuck yeah, boys. That's what I'm talking about. And then we end our tour December 16th in Fayetteville, Arkansas, on Todd Glass's birthday. I got to call him. I got to call him. And then I'm done. I'm flying to Chicago to see the Lakers. Damn, I got a busy ass December, but it's gonna be good. My tour is done on the 16th. I've been on the road since October 25th or something. It's time to wind down in Denver. I think I'm just gonna stay in Denver. I have like 3 months off. I have that February tour that we announced, but I'm taking some time off, and it's podcast world. I'm gonna see Nick. I haven't talked to Nick in a while. I know he misses me, but he doesn't act like it. He acts all too cool, because whatever, well, fucking ever. But I know he misses me. I know you're listening to this, Nick. I know you miss my ass. And then New Year's Eve, I have one show. Yeah, Outer Banks with Little Stranger. Congrats to them, guys. Those guys are fucking killing it. The boys are back. Yeah, let's go get it. But yeah, I've been blabbing, and this reader interview is longer, and I want to keep it long because he's the best, and I want you to get to know Dan Reeder. Dialed In Gummies, guys. Go grab yourself some Dialed In Gummies. I haven't had them in a while because I do not want to go to European prison again. So I haven't even smoked weed. No, it's crazy. I haven't smoked weed in like 2.5, 3 weeks. Even when I was in Amsterdam, I didn't really smoke weed. I'm like not into smoking weed anymore. And I miss the Dialed In Gummies because They make me sleep so good, and my buddy Steve-O gave me a couple Xanaxes, so I've been sleeping pretty good, but not like no Xanax is gonna give you that Dialed In Gummies. What Dialed In Gummies gives you. So if you're in the Colorado area, go grab yourself some Dialed In Gummies. They're the best in the business. True craftsmanship. True perfection in a gummy. It's the perfect dosage. It's homogenized. I think I said that word right, finally. And great flavor. They taste good. They don't taste all fucking, terpy. Like some of these gummies are just very fucking terpy. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And it's December time, so if you're if you want to go, if you're going to Vail or if you're going to Steamboat, I mean, they're out there too. So grab yourself some Dialed In Gummies, go eat a gummy and go fucking cruise that fucking ride the Nar, bros. I heard it just snowed again in Denver. God, I think we're about to get fucked this summer or this winter. I think it's going to be snowy, but I think that's perfect because then I can stay in my house and go put on some pajamas and just watch TV for 3 months. I know I probably won't do that, but it's a nice idea. And I haven't get volume.com, guys. If you're in the live stream business, if you're in a band, if you are basically an entertainer, get yourself in to volume.com. YouTube and the Nugs are great. Nugs.net are great, but you might as well get yourself on in many fan bases as possible, and volume.com has this little cult following of people. And if you want to listen to my all my interviews are stockpiled, and if you want to watch all the interviews from my house or when I'm at my house, or if I'm in this hotel, it's a real nice hotel actually. I'm at the Hyatt in downtown Berlin, and everyone's like all wearing turtlenecks and shit. I'm like out there. They had a cigar bar. I'm like, fuck it, I'll smoke a cigar. I'm smoking a cigar with all these like old rich Germans. It's been fun. Yeah, so go to volume.com, and all the interviews are stockpiled, and all the shows are stockpiled, and a bunch of bands are on there, like Donato's blowing up. I saw I tried to make it to his Christmas show in Nashville, but I'm just I won't be in town, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Nashville next couple months, making my record, or trying to finish my record. Fuck, I got so much shit to do. That's why it's nice to chill out for a second. All right, guys, enjoy Dan Reeder. Yo, Chris, play some Dan Reeder. Play that song, I got all the fucking work I need. I got all the fucking work I need. This man is a songwriter, and he will go down in history as one of the greatest songbirds of our time. Trying to get famous until later in his life too. Reeder is going to be the same. So you're going to enjoy this Dan Reeder. He's kind of like a Steve Poltz of the world. He's a great storyteller. He's Todd Snyder's. But he's quirky, and his lyrics make me smile, and they make me cry, and they make me everything. So enjoy this Dan Reeder interview, and I'll catch you next week. We have Catherine Blanford on the show. Yeah, it's comedian. She's fucking hilarious. I got a few more. We have like 4 more episodes until the season is over. I also got Giannis Pappas and Mark Norman. They're going to be, I can't believe I have those guys. Those guys are fucking comedy legends. Well, who else do I got? And then we're doing the award ceremony with Nick. We're going to do probably an episode with, what else do I got? I think, oh shit. I got, and Luther Dickinson. Oh yeah, that was a good interview too. And then I'm flying to LA to do, Leanne Kreischer's podcast, which is going to be great. And then I got to interview, Bruce Hornsby. It's going to be great. I think, next season next season we already have fucking amazing, huge guests lined up that when I get home, I'm ready to interview. All right, guys, I love you. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, make sure you love yourself. Make sure you check in on yourself. You check in on everyone else all the time. Make sure you take some time for yourself and realize I'm worth it too. All right, enjoy Dan Reeder, and I'll catch you next week. Oh, and come to the shows. Let's go. I got the band. We're fucking on fire after this Europe tour. Fucking Germany was popping off. Netherlands was popping off. The band is hopefully sleeping. I hope they're listening to this. They don't really listen to my podcast, but if you're listening to this band, buckle up, boys, because Frasco's recharged. I'm ready to whoop that ass. Let's go. All right, guys. Enjoy Dan Reeder, and I'll catch you next week.
Wow. I didn't think I'd ever have the opportunity to talk to you, sir. Dan Reeder, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Where are you? Do you live in Germany?
Yeah,
What part of Germany?
I'm in Nuremberg.
Oh, Nuremberg.
Southern Bavaria. Yeah,
We play,
actually Franconia.
my band plays in Bamberg all the time.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's not too far from there. It's a very nice little town, too.
Yeah, tell me the reason why you decided to stay in Germany. Aren't the people nicer? I mean, Americans are such assholes, you know.
You know, I ended up staying here because I married a German girl, and I'm a painter, and it's a great place for painters to work, for artists to work in general. You know, you've got what they call socialized medicine here, which means that if you have any kind of a job, actually, even if you don't have a job, you're going to be insured. So you're not going to go broke because of some medical thing. More vacations.
Yeah.
It's like it's a great place to live. Winters are kind of shit, you know, they're cold and long.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's super good.
Why do you?
What really was,
Yeah, keep going. Sorry, I interrupted you.
what I found really good is that normal people, just like regular people, buy pictures. Like they buy paintings and hang them up in their apartments. When I don't really, other than maybe super rich people in Los Angeles, I don't know anybody who does that there.
Right.
Or maybe, you know, some aunt paints pictures, and so they've got one of those. But here it's kind of a thing. It's like a status symbol if you have an original picture.
What gives you more peace, making records or making paintings?
More peace. You know, it depends. It depends on the day. Like if I can't tune my guitar, you know, like some days you have a hard time getting your guitar tuned because you just like every little thing is wrong.
Yeah.
Then that's probably gonna be a day to paint pictures.
No, I love that. Because like your paintings are so, they have so much depth in your paintings, just as much depth as you have in your records, and to like know that you basically produce, record all these records yourself. It's pretty astonishing to you've got this old time Americana feel. You know, it reminds me of guys like John Prine, and I know John Prine was one of your, you know, who helped you develop, you know, a fan base or whatnot. He was on your record label. How much does John Prine mean to you?
You know, John Prine's been a hero of mine for a long time. I mean, he's written some great songs, and I made this record just sort of for the hell of it, and I wanted to send it to a lot of people, but the only guy I could find an address for was John Prine. It's like, no, seriously, you try to send a record to any of these other stars, and there's like a wall there. It's like, woof. And with John Prine, it was like, no, you want to. And I didn't know that he had a record company. I mean, he did, but I didn't know that when I sent it to him. But he was always very accessible, and he was, of course, a huge help to me. I wouldn't have a career, if you want to call it that, as a musician if it weren't for John Prine.
Yeah. No, it's pretty beautiful. What did he teach you about the music industry? What did he teach you about business? What did he teach you about songwriting?
Nothing. He didn't tell me anything.
That's amazing.
No, he really didn't. He was. He took me on tour with him like 4 times. I think I opened for him altogether 30 times, and it was like just threw me out there. Al Brunetta said, "Dan, would you like to go and tour with John? He's going to be going across Canada." I said, "I don't think I do. I don't do that. I don't like that." And he said, "Well, have you ever tried it?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, then how do you know?" And it's hard to argue with logic like that. So I tried it.
No, I totally.
I tried it.
And how was it? How was it?
It's playing live music, especially alone on stage like that. And these are like pretty big audiences. There are a couple of thousand people out there. And of course, the people didn't pay to see me; they paid to see John Prine, but they paid a lot of money. So you don't want to fuck up,
Yeah, totally.
So there's like pressure on you. Yeah, I always describe it like this: there's a lot of stuff on the good side, and there's a lot of stuff on the bad side.
Yeah, what was the bad stuff?
Well, it's like it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
To the idea of going out on stage in front of 2,000 people with an instrument I can't play and with my voice, it makes me nervous, man. It scares me. I'm never complete until I'm actually out there. I'm not comfortable. So the whole time I'm like, and like one of the sound guys showed me this Chinese breathing method to calm yourself down, where you breathe in on the count to 3 while you're breathing in, then you hold it for 4, and you let it out for 7, and then you wait 5 or something like that. And it's like you feel like you could actually like stop your heart if you just did that. Just it calms you way down until you quit doing it, and then
it comes back.
Over.
Then it comes back.
It comes back, bam, just like that.
No,
so it's pretty much useless on stage.
Yeah, and that's what I was asking you. Like, so do you write music just for yourself, or like these songs are so beautiful, Dan? Like 3 chords.
Well, thank you.
Food and Pussy. I mean, Can you play Food and Pussy on a John Prine tour? I don't think so, right?
On the first one, I may have.
How was it? How was the reaction?
I've always gotten really nothing but good reactions. Okay, no, that's not strictly true. Some people, I've watched people walk out, like I sometimes use salty language, I guess, or and there are people who are offended by that and they leave.
Yeah.
Or one guy told me that his parents-in-law were there, and they hated me, man. They're like, and they left. And so that made him like a fan of mine for life. But what happened, I have to tell this one story. We were in Southern California, in Cerritos, California, I think it was. And the people that do the stuff, they do the venue, had heard that I sometimes use foul language on stage, or that my songs, like, I got all the fucking work I need. And they said they weren't sure if they wanted to have me. And I told John, dude, if they don't want me, that's fine. I can sit this one out, And he said, no, Dan Reeder is a relevant contemporary songwriter, and he should go on. And that is like Ritterschlag. It's like being knighted.
Yeah. Odin, by the goat.
to be called a relevant contemporary songwriter by John Prine. Yeah.
I mean, Dan, you're one of my favorite songwriters. I got to clap it up for you, buddy. I'm clapping it up for you.
Well, thank you.
Because you understand loneliness. I really feel like Here in the Kitchen. I love that song. You'll Never Surf Again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up in Southern California. I understand that. I grew up in Topanga Canyon, like near Topanga Canyon.
Okay.
And I've been looking for a guy who has a little bit of dirt in them, who understands loneliness and who understands love. Where did you start? Like, who taught you how to, put these words into paper? Like, did you learn in Southern California? Did it take you like leaving America to finally find your art form? Like, tell me about your early life.
No, I'll tell you about sort of my development as an artist.
Yeah, totally.
But that happened. I mean, I went to Cal State Fullerton and studied painting there. I started off studying engineering, and I noticed that I was taking these math classes. And that my stupid thought was, once I'm done with this class, I'll never have to do this shit again. Which of course is ridiculous if you're an engineer. And the guys in there, and it was really all guys who went on to be engineers, they loved to do that. And they would do like math while they were watching TV. So I noticed, I sort of like the engineering side of things. I like sort of the principles, but I really do not like calculating stuff. So I started taking art classes, and I loved it. And the thing about it is, with art, I was a painter. Basically, they tell you, we can't teach you how to paint pictures. We can teach you how to mix colors. We can teach you sort of basic things about composition. We can teach you through experience how to criticize paintings. And we can, and you're in sort of a scene where that's an acceptable thing to do, paint pictures and talk about pictures, but nobody can tell you how to paint a picture, which is like, oh, okay, great.
Did you like that challenge?
You're going to college. Huh?
Did you like that type of challenge?
Yeah, well, I'm like, of course, challenge accepted. And it's true, nobody can tell you how to do it. So you have to kind of figure out a way to do it. Well, it turns out the way I paint, I've been doing since I was maybe 13 years old, like making little sort of cartoony drawings. We used to pass them back and forth in school. And that's what I still do. So I haven't really except that I use paint now instead of a pencil or a ballpoint pen, I haven't developed at all. It's just exactly the same as it always was. And music, like when my guitar that I used for the first record, I built. I won a prize in Nuremberg. They have these like city prizes. It's not like a huge win or anything. But there's a bunch of money. It was like 10,000 euros. I won that, and this friend of mine who knew I was sort of sick of the art scene came by with a book called "How to Build a Steel String Acoustic Guitar."
Oh my God!
Knowing that I had a bunch of money and I would jump on that shit. And so I didn't have a guitar, at the time, so I built one. And it was kind of it's a weird looking thing, but
hold on, did you know how to play?
We always had guitars at my house. Like my brother and me would play together and stuff, but I didn't have a guitar in Germany.
Wow.
So I made this guitar, which I do not recommend, by the way. it's a waste of time. You can buy a totally good guitar for 300 euros. It's better than the one you'll build. And then I also built a bass, like it's like just a box bass. And yeah, just built a bunch of stuff like that. And started, well, a guy who gave me a computer. And I had to sort of pep up the computer over time to get it fast enough to record audio. And yeah, you can only sing Farther Along and Angel Band so many times, and then you want to do something else. So I did.
And, because I love the doubles. Like, I really like how you produced it without even knowing what the fuck is going on is actually so beautiful, Dan, because those records are so intimate. And like, I could really hear the doubles and the vocals, and like that, I feel like that's your sound, like all those doubles and triples of those harmonies, those like kind of like really close harmonies were just, was that, who inspired you to do that? Or was it just like, I don't fucking know, I'm just going to do 3 harmonies on that,
No, I always sang harmony. My father was a minister, and I would sing like a harmony to the songs in church. And I would sing harmony stuff with my brother. My brother is actually a professional singer. He sings in Disneyland.
Oh, really?
Right now he's in a pirate band in Disneyland. He's been doing it for I don't know how long, but I got to say, he can do it way better than I can. He can do those tight, those really, really close harmonies. Where it's like, the little tweaky jazz shit.
Yeah.
He's really good at that stuff. But the thing is, when I was like, I would have loved to sing in a choir, but my voice was so quiet that like the choir director would go like that all the time. He couldn't hear me. And, people with like normal voices just blew me away. So you couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
And the computer made it possible for me to sing harmony with myself, which was like, microphone, all right, microphone, and I could sing these harmonies with myself, and it was fucking fantastic for me. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. You could really hear the intimacy in these tunes. Like that first record in 2004. I mean, God, like also like Clean Elvis. Come on, bro. That song's like I'm a deep fan of you, and a lot of my friends and songwriters, we do the 250 shows a year, and we really do talk about you a lot. What was the first song that you felt like that I might be able to do this other than painting?
I never really felt like that. I still don't feel like that. They want me to make a new record. I'm like, can I do that? Fuck, I don't know.
Why are you so insecure about yourself? What happened when you were a kid that made you so insecure?
No, it's just like, if I'm sitting around and there are musicians around and they pick up a guitar and they start playing, they fucking blow me away. Or people, in the meantime, I know a lot of musicians, and I think, well, they're all, as musicians, they're all way better than me. They just, they're just better. They playing the guitar, doing this like trick shit that I can't do. And I go, God, okay. Or this one guy here in town, he's like a local hero blues musician. I handed him my homemade guitar, and he played a couple of things on it, and it sounded like a completely different instrument. It's a finger thing.
Right.
Like, I don't know how he does that. That's where my insecurity comes from. Just knowing that these other people are fucking better than me.
But then you have guys like John Prine praising your name. Like what years was it when John Prine was like saying, Dan, you're the man? Like, was it that record, or was it was it Sweetheart?
One. No, it was the first one.
Yeah.
And in fact, I got home one night from the pub, and it was like 2 a.m, and I was like, and I got a call from Al Bunetta, the manager, or the president of Oh Boy Records, or as John would say, the daytime president.
I love
he
it.
said nothing happens in the daytime. He was the performing guy. Anyway, I get a call from Albinetta, and he said, "Yeah, we got your record, and we'd like to put it out on Oh Boy Records." That was the yellow record.
Yeah.
The first one, which like fucking blew me away. I was like, "What? Huh?" And even better than that, John said, because they said, well, he could come to Nashville and record it over and, do a better job on the recording. And John said, I like it the way it is. Let's just leave it the way it is. So the only thing they did to it, there was one song at the end, I think, that we took off, which was kind of didn't belong on the record really. The only thing they did was they mastered it and got it so that it was the correct loudness for a CD, and they fixed it so you don't have to like dive and change the volume all the time. So the volumes were the same, but they left in, the noise, they left in the mouth smacking sounds and shit.
Exactly. That's what I love about it. It's so intimate. It feels like I'm hanging out. I'm having a pint with you while you're doing these songs together.
But some of them I listen to and I'm like, God Almighty! You can remove that stuff instantly now.
Yeah.
I got plugins, like restoration plugins, and they're like, you want to get rid of mouth smacks and clicks? Just click on that. Tell us how much you want to have left over.
Yeah.
So
were you feeling inspired? Were you feeling inspired because like 2004 you released that, and then in 2006 you released Sweetheart. So like that's not a lot of time to make a whole new record. Were you pumped up that Prine was like on your ass and like you're like, this is fucking tight.
No. Nobody ever really put me under any pressure at all. And actually, the first record came out in 2003.
Oh, wow.
And Sweetheart came out in 2006, and I didn't know if I could make another one. I was like, really, God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'd always just sort of taken my time and done it when I wanted to. And then they gave me a contract for 2 or 3 records. The first one was for 2, and then the next one was for 5. And I was like, can I do that? And turns out I can.
Yeah. Do you need to get pushed?
Sweetheart.
Do you need to get pushed a little bit to fulfill your dreams?
No,
not
really.
Yeah.
What happened was though, Sweetheart, like I realized, if I was going to play it like on stage, I needed songs that I could play, just with the guitar and one voice.
Yeah.
So I started making songs that I could do with just one voice without the harmony stuff so much.
Yeah.
Because I thought, fuck, I need to. It was really hard to find songs that I could do like without the backing vocal stuff. And I could have, I guess, recorded the backing vocals and just used them somehow, but I didn't want to do that.
Or like pedals, like pedals to make it feel like you had a harmony, but that didn't feel genuine either, right?
No, I've got one of those gizmos here. Actually, I've got that, and I've got Waves. It's called Waves Harmony, which is, I gotta say, because you play the harmony voices on a keyboard. It's fucking fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Like you can do stuff. There's a woman that I collaborated with one time named Penelope Antenna. And she uses that very effectively, man. She plays just wonderful shit using that Waves Harmony thing.
I mean, I feel like all those tools can help, at least make the sound fuller and bigger. Because you never wanted a band, right? You just wanted to be you.
I was sort of in a band. Well, it was like I had to. They wanted me to play at this Night of Blues thing that they do here every year.
Uh-huh.
And so I got 2 women, and we practiced, and we did that. They were called the Ooh-Oohs because I would be singing the melody and the lyrics, and they would just be going, ooh, that stuff. And then I was in another sort of a group. Was this one of those background singers and her husband? But Yeah, I just don't especially like to do it,
Yeah.
playing live like that.
Do you remember your first concert where you thought some of these songs would be awesome and then they just totally fucking bombed?
No, it never happened.
Yeah.
There was one situation. Actually, my very first live performance. That was in Leeds, England, at a thing called the Fuse Festival, put on by an English radio guy named Andy Kershaw. And basically, I started the thing. And then a guy came on named Conda Bongo Man. Have you ever heard of Conda Bongo Man?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
All right, well, Conda Bongo Man is he's like a Congolese superstar. He's like the Michael Jackson of the Congo. And he goes on stage and he's got this gigantic bass player and he's got these guitarists who play like like that kind of stuff. And then he's got two female dancers who are like, we're talking about like the best dancers the Congo has to offer.
Right.
And they do like just spectacular fucking, I mean, their butts go like this. And you look at it and you think, how did they make their butts do that? Like I tried to do that with my butt in front of a mirror just to see if there was like any way it can't be done. They start doing this thing with their butts, and then they start doing this thing with their hands, and then they start doing this thing with their heads. It's like I was told it's sort of a language, this kind of dance. But after Conda Bongo Man is played, you're not going to sell any CDs. The people are like totally into Conda Bongo Man. He's awesome. It's really spectacular.
Thinking about like your younger life a little bit, and I was wondering, what was the loneliest you've ever been in your life?
You know, I don't know if I even get lonely.
Really?
Yeah. Like, that's kind of a, yeah. Being by myself, I've always been a very sort of by myself person.
Yeah.
And like, lonely, like maybe the loneliest I get is when I'm in a crowd of people and they just don't acknowledge me or I feel like they don't like me or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever dealt with heartbreak?
Well, you know, when my high school girlfriend dumped me, I did.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even heartbreak, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was more like sort of just change, and change is not good.
Yeah. What don't you like about change?
You have to act differently all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about being older? Is like getting older, do you like being older or do you not like being older?
I do not like being older.
At least you're honest.
How old are you?
I'm 35. Yeah, I'm 35, Dan.
Okay, fuck. 35, man. You're like in your peak. You're in your prime.
Yeah.
I'm 68. I'm 68 right now, and you know, like, yeah, just little stuff starts going wrong, and you don't have the energy you used to have.
Uh-huh.
Well, when I was 35, while I was living here, I was out going to the pub and drinking beer and staying up till midnight all the time.
Yeah.
I'd stay up till 2 a.m. and then get up and go work.
Yeah.
Had a job as a house painter.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a problem. Just you know, you can do it. You get older, you don't do that anymore.
Right.
Sort of like.
Do you still drink?
It's not super bad.
You still drink?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I mean, they got really good beer here.
Yeah.
And I'm more of a beer guy than a wine guy. I don't care for wine so much.
Any other drugs? Did you ever get into like substance abuse with like coke or anything else? Or no?
No. When I was in like high school, we did like whites.
Yeah.
Sometimes, which is, I'd say, really fun, but probably in the long run, not a good idea.
Yeah.
and of course marijuana.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like just the Southern California in the 70s was like you could get anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't even actually. The last time I smoked pot, it was in Seattle. This friend of mine, I was up there and I couldn't leave because of that volcano in Iceland.
Oh, wow.
So I was like stuck. I was stuck in Seattle, and this guy let me stay at his house, and I hadn't smoked pot in about, I don't know, 30 years or something. And he gave me a hit of this like modern, up-to-date, kick-ass marijuana. It's like one hit. And I felt like I was floating. It was like, fuck, this is fantastic. It wasn't at all like the stuff we had when I was, 18, 19, 20. That was like where you had to smoke 2 joints to get that stoned. And it was just wonderful. It sort of surprised me because I had,
Yeah, because what?
well, I had quit smoking. I had quit smoking pot because it was like increasingly making me sort of paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, man, if it's not fun, then let's not do it.
Yeah.
And it was just not fun anymore at some point.
Did you get into
So I just
nicotine
quit
or anything?
completely.
Did you get into nicotine or anything?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to smoke, man. I used to smoke cigarettes like crazy.
Yeah, same.
You drink a beer, you smoke. Drink coffee, you smoke. You smoke. You take a smoke break. It was like,
What's the?
and then
Keep going.
I quit. I'll tell you the story of me quitting smoking. I quit smoking because of one of those John Prine gigs. As an encore, I always did a song called "Waiting for My Cappuccino,"
Yeah.
which is just
Off Sweethearts, right?
a cappella.
Off Sweethearts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for my cappuccino since 1969, and I'm beginning to suspect that the waitress forgot me. Anyway, I'm like halfway through that song, and my throat was, because I smoked, was like clogged up, and I sang a wrong note,
Oh man.
like really just fucked up. And somebody way up in the back went like this, oh, and I heard it. It was like, oh, completely embarrassing to fuck up a note. Just sing wrong.
Right.
It's like, oh, damn. And I quit
Yeah.
smoking right after that. It's like, that's not going to work at all.
Right. Oh man. How much time do you have for me? Can I have a couple more minutes of your time? Is that cool?
Yeah, it's right now it's 6:30. They told me it was going to be an hour.
Perfect.
So we're
Okay,
halfway through.
Okay, so California. Talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about California a little bit. Yeah, in the 70s, was it about psychedelics and stuff yet back then? Was it conservative? Because the 70s, like it kind of like turned. I don't know if it turned in. Were you in Orange County or were you in like?
I was in the 70s. I was in Orange County.
Yeah.
We lived in Linwood till I was 15, and then we moved to Orange County.
Yeah.
And that was a whole different scene.
Right.
Like in Linwood, on Fridays every week after school, there would be a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys, they would meet at the cannon at the park and they would fight. And it was like, that's what you do after school on Friday. Right. And then we moved to Orange and nobody fought. There were no fights. There was nothing.
Yeah.
It was like completely, it's like rich people. And there was none of that. There was also the racial tension was pretty much gone.
Right. Because they shoot everyone away.
People.
Yeah, they shoot everyone away.
Yeah. It was almost all white. Yeah.
Was it pretty conservative?
So extremely.
Yeah.
In fact, that area is known. It's still known for being conservative.
Right.
Orange County is like just a super conservative place, whatever that means now.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the Republicans are more radical than the Democrats at the moment. I would say.
My dad's your age, and he said he got arrested multiple times for going to concerts and just being a kid. I'm like, in California and Los Angeles, it seems so strange, but It was pretty. It was pretty
Where
much
was?
Los Angeles, like San Fernando Valley. I grew up in the San
Yeah,
Fernando
okay.
Valley, so
Yeah.
he was like going to concerts, and he loved cocaine, so he was getting in trouble.
yeah.
Yeah, he was getting in trouble in California, and that made me think like, was the art scene more in like San Francisco, Northern California than it was in like Southern California? Like what?
I'm sure it was,
Yeah.
man. Like there was nothing happening in the way of art where I was. In Orange, there was, well, like where would an artist go?
Yeah.
You had these sort of there was sort of like chain bars, and they have these like booths where you could go and sit in a leather booth thing and drink gin tonics with somebody, but you were not even you weren't even communicating with other people in the bar.
Right.
It was like there was no, at least I didn't know. I don't know where I would have gone to meet artists.
Right.
There. There was like no place. And here, I've talked about this before, but this is like for me a super important characteristic of Germany, and that is, let's say you go to a beer garden, and it's crowded, and you say, oh, there are 2 seats over there, a table full of people, but there are 2 free seats, so you can go sit down there.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, yeah, of course. You don't have to have a table all to yourself. You go and you sit there with these other people. Okay. You don't know who these people are. They might be doctors and lawyers. They might be bikers. They might be bricklayers. You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But you'll sit down there and you'll drink beer and you'll talk about whatever with them. Like just sort of what's going on, and just sort of normal stuff that you would talk about with your friends. And what that does is it sort of cements the fact that it's a society,
right? Exactly.
Like like Americans are more sort of every man for himself.
Yeah.
I want a table to myself, and so what happens is Americans, in public settings, don't talk to each other. It's no wonder that they have these weird conspiracy theories and stuff, man. They don't talk to each other.
Right. What's your take on creativity and when art comes to people?
Well, there are strategies you have to use, I think. Like if you're a painter, what you do is you make sure that you've got all the paints you need. You make sure you've got canvases or hard masonite or whatever you paint on. Make sure you've got the brushes you need. Make sure you've got everything set up where if you feel like painting a picture, it's there.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with music. You got to have your stuff set up where it's not a huge thing to turn on the recording computer.
Yeah.
Or have the guitars. Like I don't use guitar cases. I think they're like a mistake because you have to open it up. Okay, they're good for carrying them around, but a guitar in a case is kind of a pain in the ass. You have to open the case, pull the guitar out. It's like really, and then put the case somewhere or close. I don't know how to do it. So I don't ever have my guitars in cases.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
What about when you tour? You just hold that shit?
Then of course, no, you have to have it in cases then. But that's not a situation where you're going to be thinking, no, I think I'll just go and play something. That's like an extreme situation. The other thing is, as for forcing it, yeah, you do have to sometimes. And there are little techniques or little strategies you can use for that. Like I discovered a long time ago that if I can just tell myself, okay, now I'm going to paint a really pretty picture, like flowers and birds and, and it will always end up being like just really nasty. The minute I tell myself it's going to be sweet and pretty, then it ends up being like just gnarly. And the other thing I can always do is just sort of think about what I do that's ridiculous and use that, because you can always find something ridiculous about yourself.
Right.
So that's like just sort of strategies. With music, I'll just sit around and play the guitar, and like sometimes, well, you know this. You get some note comes in and sounds really good for some reason, like better than it did yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't know why. And so you go like, huh, that's good. I should do something with that in it and record that.
Yeah.
And actually my first record, that's how that was mainly done. Like something sounded good that day. And so I'd go like, all right, we'll use that.
So it was never about being successful for you. It was just about making art.
Well, that is being successful. If you make stuff that you're happy with, then you win.
Right.
And there's no better feeling than making something where you go like, fuck, that is exactly what the world needs right now. That is exactly right. You did good.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
It's amazing feeling. Why is this Americans have to like put financial gain with our art? You know, why are we so focused on the money side of the art versus just making art that we feel that's going to help the world go round?
Well, money is important.
Yeah, true.
You can't just fucking ignore money.
Yeah.
And I don't ignore money either. The thing is, my experience has been if you do something that you're satisfied with, you'll get money.
Right.
And if you do what you really love to do, then it'll work out one way or the other anyway.
Right.
I mean, that's maybe like goofball metaphysics, but really my experience has been that if you're doing stuff that you like to do, then it works out. And if you're doing stuff that you hate to do or you feel like you shouldn't be doing, then it will not work out.
Right. Do you ever like had like someone commissioned you to do a piece of art and you're like, fuck this, but I did it because of the money?
Yeah, of course.
What was the worst one?
Painters.
What's the worst one you did?
The worst one ended up being not that bad, actually. I did a calendar called Macho Visions, which was like pictures of me fighting dinosaurs with spears and crossing an ocean in a kayak and fighting sharks. And there was one picture, and it was called it was like a picture of this giant sort of dinosaur-y looking thing laying there dead, and me standing there with a knife, and it was me with like a saying, what do you call it in English, the little bubble where you say something.
Yeah, word.
The text was like, there's nothing better than a short curved knife for beast fighting. Okay, so
Someone commissioned you to say, Dan, just do whatever you want? Or was it like,
no, this was like I made a calendar with these pictures on there, and this my wife's cousin's son wanted a painting of that, and they said, paint it, we'll pay you, da 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 da. And so I started to do it, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to do this. And it actually sat in my studio, leaned up against the heater for 12 years. And then just recently, I got I'm a Windows computer guy, but Apple came up with this M1 chip, and recently the M2 chip, and I thought, fuck, man, if you can like just keep stacking plugins up on there, and it doesn't, the computer doesn't choke up. I want one of those, so I got one. Okay, and it's the problem is, my recording program doesn't work on Mac. I use Samplitude, and so I had to use like Logic Pro, which is a different world,
right? Right.
So this kid, who is now no longer a kid, he said, Dan, if you finish that picture for me, I'll come and show you how to work that Mac. So I said, all right, deal. And so just a couple of weeks ago, I finished that painting, and he came by and showed me how to use the stupid Apple computer and Logic Pro.
Does it take you a while to make paintings, like finished paintings?
Usually, no. Usually, it's like bam, 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 bam. And in fact, that's kind of important for the way I paint. It's like you want to be thinking that while you're painting it. It's like it should be a fresh idea.
Right.
And to like spend a long time on a painting never worked for me. Does not make my pictures better. To make them better.
Right.
It's better to just go bap, 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 bap. Sort of like you
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
like
just
a vomit, like a song.
Yeah, like let's call it a vomit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really how it sort of is. And
keep going.
yeah, I used to paint a lot at night, and I might paint 10 pictures in one night. When you start one, damn it, that's not right. And then do the next one, and you go, oh, that's good, but, and then the next one's like an improvement on that, and just sort of going back, and then the next day, I wouldn't even know what I had painted. Like I'd have to go in my studio and take a look at what I had done.
Right.
And either it was like, hey, great, or of course sometimes disappointing.
If you only could be remembered by one thing, what would it be? Painting or songs?
I think I'm going to be remembered more for songs now.
Yeah.
And I think I know which ones even.
Which ones?
It's going to be Havana. It's going to be Havana Burning, Clean Elvis, and Born a Worm.
Oh, Born a Worm is a great fucking song, man.
See?
Yeah, Clean Elvis. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Well, I got two more questions. I'll let you go, Dan. Tell me a little bit about Clean Elvis. Like, what made you write a song? The lyrics are there.
I don't know.
It's like three different melodies all in one song. You know, it's like all these different, old school songs. You know, and it's like, I just think it's such a beautiful song.
I'm really proud of that, but I have no idea. I have no idea where it came from. It's like what I call the power that comes from nowhere. Like sometimes you paint a picture and you have no fucking clue where that came from.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So you just sort of take it.
Yeah. Well,
no, seriously. If you're like sitting in front of an easel and you've got all your stuff there and you just sort of start painting, sooner or later that will happen.
Yeah.
Where you get like just a little burst of sound. I don't know where it comes from nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And that song was a little bit that way.
Do you think art is like you have to be you're an open vessel? You're not making this art. Do you think the ether's making this art, or do you think you're in control?
I don't like to go in that sort of direction.
Yeah.
But actually, my experience has been that it does come from nowhere sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I don't know how else to say it. Like some pictures I can't really take credit for. I don't like the vessel thing because it's too sort of metaphysical for my taste.
Yeah.
But fucking it actually it does work that way sometimes. Yeah.
What about
not always, but
what about energy? I like what's your take on death?
My take on death is all right. Then when you're gonna talk about death, you have to talk about God.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to talk about God, you have to talk about the possibility that there is no God. All right. So I see it like this. We don't know if there's a God or no God. So any decision you make, if you decide there is no God, it's just your decision. But it doesn't really make sense to decide that there is no God because that takes away the hope that there is, in the end, some sort of justice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it makes sense to believe that there is a God, and because why would you choose no hope instead of hope? My wife and I watched this show, this series called Stiesel. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I haven't. No.
Okay, it's like a series about these ultra Orthodox Jews in Israel, or that's the scene where it happens. And okay, you're Jewish, you're going to be familiar with all these. Everything they fucking do has a law attached to it, like everything. And so I started thinking about that, like why would you do that? Why would you have like every fucking thing be sort of controlled by laws? And the answer I came up with was they've decided that, number one, there is a God. They've decided what their God what he wants from you, and they just keep doubling down on that. And I think it's sort of makes perfect sense that way, where it's you're acting as if, like, as if there's a God, and that just reinforces that that decision that there is a God. And let's face it, if there is no God in the end, there's not going to be anybody there to laugh at you anyway. So,
right.
So why not go with that?
Right.
I don't know. I'm sure that any reasonable rabbi would laugh me out of the room for my theory of Judaism or belief in God in general. But that makes sense to me.
Isn't that just optimism?
No, it's not just optimism. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's like
we like to believe the better things, instead of just always thinking like everything's shit or there's nothing. This is disappearing. This is black. This is
Yeah, but why not?
Right.
I mean, it makes more sense than just assuming that it's going to just be an end and there's nothing there.
Exactly.
I think, I don't see myself as being like an extremely religious person or anything, but sort of a belief in God makes the world a little bit brighter, a little bit, because, in the end, then there will be some sort of justice. Okay, that can be spooky too, but you'd like to think that, in the end, something that you were misrepresented or misunderstood, that would finally get cleared up. Don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I want that. I want that hope. And I mean, whether that's how it's going to go down, we don't know. But
Well, Dan Reeder, thank you for your time. Your brain is unbelievable. I really think you're one of the greatest brains we have right now, and I'm just thankful that I get to have a conversation with you. I think you're an amazing songwriter. I think you're an amazing painter. If you have time, I'd love to commission you to make a painting about maybe if God was, dinosaurs and attacking with laser beams and stuff. I'll talk to your people. Maybe if you have time, I would love to hang one of your arts on my walls. So,
okay,
that'd be awesome.
I can do that.
And
all right.
I'll be back. I'll be in Nuremberg in November.
Oh,
yeah. So we're doing.
Do you know what?
We're doing a festival in Nuremberg. God, not Rock am Ring. Remember Rock am Ring? I don't think that's Nuremberg, but that's where the race cars go.
Rock and Park.
Rock and Park. Yes.
You're doing Rock and Park.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm gonna be in Bamberg for a week and a half. So I'd love to maybe stop by and have a coffee or a beer with you. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll go to Bamberg. I'd go to Bamberg anytime. It's a great town,
dude.
We're gonna have one of those Rauch beer, those smoked beers.
The beer that tastes like barbecue.
Smoke, yeah.
Oh man. Well, keep the dream alive, Dan. And I'm just this is one of the moments where I'm gonna cherish forever because I really do love you, and I really do love your art. So thank you so much.
Well, you're quite welcome, and good talking to you.
Have a good one, Dan. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.